What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Two Game Podcast, where we are here to not necessarily cap off the Andor series, because we still have one more review after this, which is Rogue One, but we are here to cap off season 2 of Andor with our review and deep dive into episodes 10, 11, and 12. So if you are not finished with Andor through season 2, highly recommend pushing pause on this and then coming back to us once you have finished up the series. But with that being said, guys, let's fucking jump into this, okay? Because there's lots to discuss. They had I guess I didn't realize how much they had to wrap up in these 3 episodes, but it was quite a bit that they had to tie all in a nice little bow and make it flow right into Rogue One.
Yeah, it's everyone that's not in Rogue One gets a nice little bow on the end of their story.
Yes. So I guess we'll just briefly talk about each individual episode, and then we can talk about, I guess, just the series. We'll cap off this episode with like the series as a whole and its legacy within Star Wars, especially Disney, because there's not very much good with Disney, but that's neither here nor there. Let's start off with episode 10. We're going to go episode by episode. I think that'd be easiest to kind of dive into. Brandon, how do you feel about episode 10, sir?
Episode 10 is amazing. What you knew was going to happen. You knew Luthen was going to kick the bucket. I like how they started off where he's getting an emergency meeting from Lonnie, and Lonnie's just giving him the deets on everything he found out. He's like, I'm sold. Like, I'm not a mole anymore. Like, they caught me. He's like, I went digging in the files and I found some stuff, and he's relaying to him the information. And they don't straight up say it's the Death Star. They just say it's a weapon, but we all know what it is. Some great stuff.
Yeah, I love the breadcrumbs that they're dropping all throughout that little just opening section of this episode, where he mentions the weapon, he mentions Galen Erso, a shit ton of shit.
Yeah, it's nothing concrete because all of that comes in Rogue One. It's just breadcrumbs getting them to the beginning of Rogue One.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I guess not funny, but to see what we know and they don't know shit, and it's just like like when like if you're looking for something and you're not connecting all the dots in your head, but like the answers are there, obvious, right in front of you. That's kind of how it felt, and it was gratifying. I'm not gonna lie, I loved it.
It was nice that you had the answers.
It's how Lonnie explained that it was in the files too, where he's like, it's all there. They just had it separated. You just put it together and you see that they were making a weapon the whole time.
I'm getting my head of myself, but we got to talk about Deidre in just a minute once we kind of finish up our overall thoughts. I love how all that unfolded. But Nick, what about you, sir?
It was a good episode, a great episode, we'll say. A great episode. And it had a whole bunch of different feels to it. Like the Clea part of it was almost like a Mission Impossible type theme going on, and then you got the Deidre part of it, which I don't even know what kind of theme was. It had feels everywhere, and you had the flashback scenes between her and Luthen, them growing up as kind of a substitute father-daughter, really just a very age unbalanced partnership going on. I mean, it was good to get a Luthen backstory that didn't involve him being a Jedi like I have anticipated they were going to be doing all along.
Thank God.
So great. I'm still curious about the kyber crystal that he carries around his neck, but I guess we will never know about that.
Yeah, the sister angle, the kyber crystal, like it was just like little things that they just completely dropped from season 1, and they were like, okay, maybe that's not that important.
I don't know. Maybe the kyber crystal thing was supposed to be a false flag. They were trying to get us to lean that direction and see it coming, and they intentionally tricked us.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. I don't know. I will agree with y'all. I think episode 10 is, to me, 10 and 11 just go back to back to me.
Yeah,
and that's really what all these arcs have been. It's like one episode will kind of set everything up, and then like the last two episodes are kind of like one big episode to me. This one to me, 10 and 11, you might as well just combine both of them because it flows right into the next, and then the last one kind of just ties everything in a nice little bow. But 10 itself, really, really loved it. Clea, my girl, man. I didn't fucking know how much I liked her character until this fucking episode. Like, she's, like you said, some Mission Impossible, some spy shit going on, and she's infiltrating this hospital. And I'm like, fuck yeah, man. Why didn't we get more of her?
I like how she gets in the first place, where she bloodies her arm and she walks in with it wrapped up so it looks like she's a patient. So she walks around so nobody questions her until she can get the nurse scrubs. So that's pretty smart.
And then she's willing like the dementia patient who doesn't fucking know what the fuck is going on.
That was the best part.
Like,
is just that grandma dementia patient just
It even took her out of it. She went from stone face to going, what? What'd you say?
As far as the Luthen backstory, so for probably the first half of this episode that it was showing it, I was leaning towards not liking it whatsoever. It was one of those things where it felt like it just wasn't fucking going nowhere. Every time they would flash back, it was them on that ship, and like they would never leave. And it felt like it was like, it felt like tires being being stuck in the mud. It just wasn't going nowhere. And then eventually, once we got away from the ship and they actually started developing that relationship a little bit more in the past, I was like, you know what? I'm okay with this. I think this was very much needed for both of these characters. And the fact that we have this at the very end, I think was a nice little touch to this series, for sure. Especially the Luthen backstory. Now, the de-aging stuff, fucking terrible. Terrible. I didn't like it.
That's what they do with Tarkin and Rogue One.
I'm telling you, they should have just left him the age, man. And I would never have fucking... I would have thought, hey, does he really look that young? I mean, come on. But that would have been the end of it. But with the de-aging shit,
give him some
I could
hair
not
plugs.
take my mind off of it.
Yeah, give him some hair plugs and throw some extra foundation on his face and call it good. Yeah.
I hate de-aging. Do we know of a single instance where de-aging has been good?
I mean, in The Hobbit, it was great.
In The Hobbit?
Who did they de-age in Hobbit?
I'm being sarcastic.
Oh.
Legolas, they de-aged.
Yeah.
I'm real with you.
I was like, wait, what?
Well, not just Legolas. They did Bilbo and Frodo too, and that looked horrible. In the very beginning of The Hobbit,
they had Samuel L. Jackson in that shitty Marvel movie that we don't really want to talk about because it was that bad.
Which one?
They de-aged him.
Of all time.
Just de-aging just typically doesn't look that great. I'm sorry. Like even if you go to like the Indiana Jones movie that came out, was it last year or the year before? Now, that fucking movie was god fucking awful. Okay, that is the worst Indiana Jones movie.
I never made it through.
Oh, you're a lucky soul.
It's not good.
I watched that motherfucker all the way through.
Yep.
And that de-aging, it takes me out of the movie every single time. It's like, I know that is not real. This dude is like 80 years old. I know he's not 50, okay?
We're going into this knowing he's not 50. Like, let's just go ahead and wrap it up.
Just recast it. If you're that concerned about it, just recast it. But anyways, the Clea and Luthen stuff, I actually did enjoy as the episode kind of moved along. But I was really glad that Clea kind of got her moment in the sun. For these two episodes.
All of this arc and the last arc kind of showed that it wasn't really Luthen that was the driving force like we've been thinking all along. It was Clea. Clea was the one that was like, we are doing this, we are doing that. Luthen's like, I can't keep up anymore. We got too many bugs and plants and this and that and whatever else. And Clea's like, I fucking have this. You do what I tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Because in first of
Yeah.
the flashbacks, he kind of just wants to survive and get by. She's the one that's like, we got to do something. We got
Well,
to
and
fight the
she's the
Empire.
one, yeah, she's the one that's bartering. And that now at the same time, he's like, he's trying to teach her how to fight back and how to defend herself and everything. And he's making her make the choices, even though he's not always letting her follow through, like the scene on Naboo, when he's like, hey, it's primed, it's ready. And she's like, it's a fake again. You're not really going to let me do this. And he's like, if you want to, then it's you. And she goes to press the trigger and he stops her and he goes, no. And he presses it himself because he didn't want to put necessarily the guilt on her, but he was priming her to be able to do that. And I mean, he was just building her up to eventually take charge like she did. And eventually she took charge over him.
Yeah, he's also teaching her how to do it without getting away with it. Because at first she tries to look when he hits the button before anything explodes. He says, don't look yet.
Now, just to confirm, he was not really with the rebellion at the beginning of that, right? He kind of
that was not
over.
the. So wait, in the beginning, like when he was on the ship, or
yeah.
So he was an Imperial officer or soldier.
Okay, yeah.
And the Empire was massacring Clea's village and slaughtered her parents, and they were just lining people up and just mowing them down, just killing everybody.
Because the radio transmission is like awful. Some of them's like, oh, we got runners on the hill, just burn them down. You're like, that's crazy.
Just bring them down. Clear the house. Bring out the flamethrowers. Like, let's do it. Yeah.
So what's so interesting about their relationship is the fact that he's basically responsible for her parents being killed. And we have this moment towards the very end of the episode where after she sneaks into the hospital and she's ready to kill him, and she's just kind of like standing over him, and she's kind of like a little bit teary-eyed, and it's a weird moment that not weird as in bad, but like it's a moment where I thought she did some really great like facial acting here, where it was like, man, she's sad because she has this relationship with him, but at the same time he's like responsible for so much of her pain. And I wish we would have been able to dive into that a little bit more throughout the series. With that being said, give me a Clea series.
I would take it in a heartbeat.
Also applaud the
dude, it would be the greatest prequel series ever. Just
do
the prequel to the prequel.
The prequel to the prequel to the prequel. Yes,
we got that. It's called Acolyte.
Brandon, you shut your fucking mouth, okay?
It's a prequel to the prequels. I'm gonna start banning
that. I'm gonna ban that word on this podcast.
Oh, come on, it's so good.
I thought it was great. I thought it was great acting there.
The restraint of not having him wake up when she goes to kill him. Most shows would like let him get a final word. Nah, she unplugs him and he dies. Like, he gets no final word. Last time we hear him is when he stabs himself.
Which that scene was so fucking good, by the way.
It was, because she is walking, like, because at first you don't know if she knows that he knows that she knows or whatever.
Exactly.
Like, was she just walking in there shopping? And you don't know. But then you're like, and he was like playing it well. And then she just like, I have something that you might want to buy from me. And pulls out the same thing that Andor tried to sell Luthen in episode 3 that got destroyed and they left behind, that Andor specifically tried to get back, and Luthen said, leave it, it doesn't matter. And it fucking mattered.
Dude, that scene was great.
Oh, his little speech
you
to
know,
her, where he's like his little speech to her, where she's like, "I finally got the rebels," and he's like, "They're not here anymore. Like, they're gone. They're flown away. Like, they will walk past him. Yeah, they're everywhere.
They're everywhere now."
like you said, what's so great about that scene is the fact that we know that she's trying to find him, and when these two finally come together, you're like, oh fuck, she knows, bro. Does she know? Does she know? And they do such a great job of the writing with that scene that you don't know until Luthen knows, which is great.
And the fact
Had me on
that
the fucking edge of my seat, dude.
Luthen played Luthen so well in that scene where he's just like, not when he sees her, you don't see any kind of distress on his face. He's just his normal Luthen salesman shelf, like, hey, look at this artifact and look at this artifact and check out this dagger, which great planning, great forethought. Like, let me go ahead and have this knife in hand just in case I can just go quick and do it. Like, yeah.
See, there is one issue with this scene, though. Literally right before this all happens, what does he do? He shoots Lonnie with a blaster. Where did that blaster go? It would have been a lot cleaner to kill himself with that than a little dagger. That's the only issue I could have thought of in these 3 episodes.
Yeah, but if you look, it was I think they were also doing a little bit of symbolism there. Some symbolism with the Gorgonian blade.
Mm-hmm.
So I know, Matt, you don't know any of that. So
yeah, I don't. I'm waiting for you to explain.
I'm not.
He's waiting for the Lord.
I'm not.
I'm gonna make you Google it later.
I'm not fucking Googling it. I'll forget about it. So yeah, overall, a great fucking episode. Overall, which leads us into episode 11. Episode 11, again, just kind of a good 1-2 punch with episode 10. This kind of not necessarily completes the storyline, and then 12 kind of ties everything together, but for the most part, it kind of ties everything together right here. The arc itself. I love the fact that Cassian is like, let's fucking go get her, and they fucking leave and go rescue Clea. And then we even got Kay in the mix. Some great dialogue, some good humor, you know,
some well-placed humor.
He steals the show.
It's so fucking nice to not have MCU humor. Okay,
it's so fucking nice to not have whatever the fuck his name is from the sequel trilogy's humor.
Oh, Poe.
Poe.
Thank you, Poe Dameron.
They fly now.
the can you hear me now joke on the radio, because can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Huh? Can you hear me now? What? Huh?
I believe that was
you're breaking up
joke.
Right.
Oh my god, I'm having flashbacks. God, I hate those movies, man. I hate those movies. So yeah, overall, I thought this episode was great. We even get Ben Mendelsohn in there, and we all know I'm a Mendelsohn dick rider, because he's like that pissed off, quirky Krennic in this episode, and it's so fucking good.
It became a meme, like his interview with Deidre. He puts the finger on his forehead.
They're making. I saw they're like making fake toys now of that, of just Deidre sitting there and Krennic got his hand on her head.
So apparently that was all improvised.
It's Ben Mendelsohn. Of course it was improvised. Though I'm sure all of his lines were improvised. He probably didn't have a script. They were just like, hey man, go do you.
He wasn't planning for season 2. He just showed up on set and they're like, all right, cool. Well, you're right, yeah.
Hey, so here's the thing. This is what you're going to do. Oh, what are my lines? Just go with it. And I wouldn't doubt it. That whole fucking sequence was so great. Him just putting the finger on the head. She is frightened, which it wasn't until that happened that I started realizing, kind of tied everything together a little bit for me. It's like the moment that someone challenges her and makes her feel inferior, she fucking cowers just crumbles. Like that. She crumbles, dude. Because Cyril, when after her in the last arc, started choking her, and she's like, oh my god, you fucking hurting me. Like, bitch, you were fucking okay with that, like, the last arc. Wanted him to choke you and shit.
Yep.
I get Krennic being upset, too, because, like, you've been working on this thing for 19 years, and literally like a week before it's like ready to go, this bitch just ruins it all for you. You're like, cool, thank you, appreciate that.
Well, let's go back on that. Okay, okay, this is where it comes down to a matter of the convenience issue. She just happens to get a bunch of random emails and packages and
Oh, I
memos
thought
sent
she
to
was
her
lying. I thought
office.
that was a lie. Where
You
he
thought that
was
was a
like,
cover? You don't think she was
yeah,
just
when she was like, when he's like, you got all these, and she's like, oh, they were sent to me. Like, I thought that was a lie.
yeah?
Because she steals files in the first season too to
Well,
try to find.
and he was calling her a scavenger, and then she's like, "I have to scavenge to do my job or whatever else." Like, I get that, but
Yeah, and she like I said, she did it in season one too to find Andor, where she starts stealing files from the other ISB officers. So I really do think she just stole them, and then she's like, yeah, they were sent to me by accident for
my
sure.
bad. Yeah, I
They're
should have
not looking
returned
for
them.
it. Yeah.
I should have reported it. My
I
bad.
just
I should
happened to
report
browse through them.
right.
She's like, oh, look at that. The link opened up. No way.
I really like the fact that this entire series has been about her trying to ascend, try to climb the ladder, so to speak. And that is ultimately her downfall, is trying to get too close to the sun at this point, and it backfires on her. And now she's in that fucking prison with that's the next episode. But
Whoa,
spoiler
yeah,
alert.
jumping ahead, sir.
Yo,
She
get
said
on
a
spoiler
prison.
program.
What? But no,
but
so
dude, I like the Deidre stuff.
yeah, Deidre was good. The whole Clea rescue mission though was great because you like Cassian and all of them are running behind, and the ISB are closing in quick. They got the scanner out. They tapped into her Morse code messaging that they thought they were being slick with, and they're
It's
closing in quick.
it's more the Empire being smart.
Yeah,
Like they're not
yeah,
idiots.
yeah. Whenever you get the ISB guys that are really actually ISB guys, they know what they're doing.
I can't remember his name, but the one that takes over the hospital, I like the fact that they're like, we think it was a three-man job, and he's like, we're not running with that until we figure out how many we're actually in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which the same guy that you talking about, the dude that became a shield for K.
Yeah, yeah.
That
Dude,
became a
yeah.
shield for
Yeah.
K. Yeah.
So fucking good. And like I was like, damn, okay then. Like perfect.
Also,
I'm
last
down
time we
with
found out you were bulletproof, so you kind of didn't need the meat shield. Like that was just cruel.
it. Popped him 3 times. Damn. K wasn't fucking playing
And
around,
then
dude.
and then K2 walks through the door and he's just like, I cleared a path.
I love the first officer he kills. Where he's like, "Are you with us?" And he just slaps him off. He's like, "No."
Yeah, I forgot how much I love K, honestly. And this episode kind of reminded me of like it just like I mentioned a minute ago, just great placed humor. Like moments of levity that I really appreciate.
He's got the.
It's
Oh, you can go ahead.
it's not like just humor. It's more of an innocence humor. He's got like the naivety of a child kind of placed humor where he says things, kids say things, and it's just, we find it as adults just hilarious, some of the stuff kids say. And that's the same thing with K2.
Oh, he's
He's
got
got
the funniest line next episode
Yeah.
too, where they're flying down to Yevon, and he's like, "I'm gonna tell him you kidnapped me." You're like, bro, sell him.
What's one more rule to break? We even get some stuff with Melshi throughout this episode, which I really dug. And the gambling scene, which I think we don't really talk about too much. Obviously we're going to talk about the awesome fucking moments of the show and Star Wars and stuff like that. I get that. But like the gambling scene between Kay, Cassian, and Melshi at the very beginning of this episode, just a great quieter moment. Like it's not always them doing the rebellion shit, This is them just being fucking people at this point. So
just
I
out,
appreciate them taking their time.
Yeah.
Playing
And it
Passat.
didn't seem fake. That's my thing. When I see scenes like that, I'm like, wow, this seems very fake. And
It was
it didn't look,
forced friendship.
yeah, like this seemed like legit, like them just saying, "Hey, y'all are gambling, just do your thing." Like no direction
You think a
to
lot
it.
of that was also improv?
I don't know,
I
man.
I mean, that's like the
flowed
best
pretty
way
well.
to do that. Well, that's the whole thing. Maybe that's the best way to do scenes like that, where it's just levity and friends hanging out. Is just be improv. You know, like
Yeah,
this
like,
is
hey
where we're
guys,
gonna
this is how we're gonna
go.
start the conversation. Like, this is how we're gonna
Yeah,
start the conversation, and we'll just fuck it. Whatever happens after that.
yeah.
Them involving Melshi is also really smart because it makes you understand why he takes his team with Andor in Rogue
Well,
One.
and it also ties in first season because honestly, I didn't recognize Melshi from first season. So the
I
fact
actually
that
told
they,
Matt about that before season two came out. I was like, well,
yeah,
I don't know if you know this, but the guy that leaves prison with him is in Rogue One. Like, it's the
yeah,
same actor.
I hadn't seen Road One in so long that I completely forgot about Melshi. So it was good that we got him in season one. It was like, oh look, it's okay. If you remembered him, then cool. But now it's like, let's bring him back because we got to get him into the mix, make him a character because he's gonna show back up in the movie.
Yeah, because he wasn't even a grunt in the movie. He's like he's the leader of the team that
Mm-hmm.
goes with them. So it's like, well, we got to see how he gets to that point. How do you go from a prison to a commander in the rebellion?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wish we would have had him in there more. We
I
definitely
agree.
needed like a buddy cop style arc. I think would have been great if pairing them two together or somebody else with Cassian. I think
Obviously
that
Melshi
would
would
and
have
have
been
K
got it
cool.
if
two.
we lived in the correct universe where we got all 5 seasons.
Yeah, sadly.
And they didn't introduce seasons every 2.5 to 3 years, and we got them every year,
Ugh.
where it could have been
Yes.
possible.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Fucking hey, but like this season was I don't want to say perfect by any means, but
I think it's
like
better than one.
For a Disney-fied
Oh,
Star Wars,
shit.
it was fucking perfect, okay?
I think
And if I had to wait,
well, if let's be honest, if they did 10 episode seasons and gave 5 of them to us, we would not have liked this show as much. I think its condensed format, where we had 3 episode arcs that took place over 4 years, probably made it better.
probably.
We might not have gotten everything we wanted to out of it, but I think there would have been too much going on, and there would have been a lot of more slip ups had they had the longer run.
I'd probably agree with that.
I'm just
And then
glad we got good
you're gonna have
Disney
to
Star
introduce some
Wars.
filler into that.
Right. There's going to be filler. There's going to be slow points. There's going to be missteps. I honestly, as much as I would love more of this show, I think the way they did this season was probably the best way to do it, because that's why everyone loves it.
I'm always a big fan of less is more. Make me want more, you know?
I do. I'm sad. Tony Gilroy stayed.
Right.
Dude, dude, I forgot what he said that they were planning on doing. And I've been listening to some, watching some interviews between him. And I wanted to bring it up on this episode, and I totally forgot. There were like storylines.
Well, they were going to do the K2SO. It was going to be an alien-esque type scene where that's how they introduced K2SO. It was going to be an abandoned freightliner with K2SO on it as the bad droid, killing everybody on the ship. And I want to say it was Vel and Cassian that were on the ship, and they're the ones that take down K2SO and then flip him.
I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, it was gonna be an alien type horror episode.
Oh, that's right. I remember you telling me about that.
Speaking of Vel, why didn't we get anything of her? I kind of thought she would go on the last mission with Andor. She she did nothing.
She was done. She made the comment to him, or maybe it's in the next episode, where she's out. She's finished with the rebellion. I think she's living the peace life now. She's done enough.
Which, while we're on the subject, let's go ahead and just segue right into the fucking next episode because
The
I
bow
want to talk about
tying
Veil for a
episode.
second, okay? We might as well just go ahead and fucking start talking about it now that we've already mentioned it. Episode 12. Good? Bad? Perfect?
Good.
How did we feel?
Good. It did not have the climactic finish I had hoped for, but it had the finish that we needed.
See, I like that it doesn't do that because the end of this story
Goes
is
straight, and
technically Rogue One.
That's
That's
why I'm
why
saying
it feels that way.
It had the finish that it needed, not necessarily. It didn't hit like the end of the rest of the arcs where you had like this big battle, tense scene, whatever. This was, let's tap the brakes, let's wrap it all together, and let's go straight to the movie.
Even Disney Plus does that. You're watching the credits, it says, please watch Rogue One. You're like, don't mind if I do.
Okay. We'll get to the final shot. I want to talk about Vil first. We have mentioned that she has been a kind of a lackluster character throughout this series. She had her moment in the sun, and then for some reason we've kept her around for fucking 2 seasons. I think she is one of the more needless characters, unnecessary characters in this series. Dude, when I didn't catch it at first, I was watching the last bit of this episode with Brandon on our shift.
I was watching him,
and this dude fucking saw the light bulb go off in my head because in the episode she mentions to Cassian, "Hey, you need to fix things with Bix sooner rather than later." And I'm just over here thinking, okay, she just wants them to get back together, or maybe Bix misses him, or something's gonna happen to Bix and she dies, something along those lines. I didn't know which direction it would go, and then we see the fucking final shot, and it's her holding a baby, and I was like, "Oh, dude, that."
Yeah, because
that fucking hurt.
Does she know? Was that why she's trying to push him into it? Does she know?
She
definitely knew.
No, she
had to.
She was mother hen in this episode, okay? She's trying to get Cassian to go find Bix to get his life back together. Clea is a complete mess. And Clea is out in the rain just walking lost, doesn't know what to do with her life anymore. Did not get the hero's welcome that she knew she wasn't going to get, that Cassian had promised her she would get. She's fallen apart, and Vela's there to pick her up and bring her back.
It seemed like Clea had like like when people, I mean, I don't know from experience, obviously, but like when soldiers come back home, it's like they don't have purpose in their life anymore. They feel like sometimes, that's what it seemed like to me, which I thought was an interesting take on the character.
She didn't fit back in the world that she belonged in.
Yeah. Like, what do I do now?
One of my favorite
if
details.
I'm not all espionage, what do I do?
What am I? That's been my whole life since 5 years old.
But yeah, man, the baby scene, dude, that you told me my heart would be broken, sir, and you weren't fucking joking. That hit me right in the fucking feels. I was like, damn. Really did. And we started watching Rogue One, which is not, we're not going to talk about Rogue One much. But we started watching Rogue One, and it just fucking hit harder knowing that moment and knowing where that movie ends, having this context of Cassian. It's just like, damn, dude never even knew. Never knew. Damn.
Yep.
Great little moment, though. Great little moment. I appreciated it.
Oh, and I like that it's during the sunrise. It's like Luthen's speech where he's like, I'm dying for a sunrise that I'll never get to see. And it kind of comes together with that because we know Cassian sacrifices himself so Biggs and his son can see the sunrise he won't get to see.
Perfection. Star Wars is really good about connecting those types of things. Say what you will about the sequel trilogy. Say what you will. But the fact that we had Luke looking at the 2 sons when he died, which that's where his story started in A New Hope, was him looking at the 2 sons. I like those full circle moments like that. And then kind of like what you said, looking at a sunrise that you'll never see. But when you also think about it, he technically does see the sunrise at the very end of Rogue One.
It's not a sunrise, but it looks like a sunrise.
You know who
That's what I'm
does it?
saying.
Krennic. Krennic gets nose scoped off that tower, bro. That's crazy.
But I do want to mention the lead up to that moment, which was fucking dope. Okay, like fucking dope. With the score really elevated that entire sequence where Cassian's walking
past,
like a
present,
fucking
and future.
like a motherfucking G dog up to the fucking plane and about to fucking take off, and I was like, damn. And he has that little moment where he's deciding whether to like completely go in and go off or stay there, and he has that little bit of hesitation. I was like, come back, Jack, come back.
Right, come back.
Don't go.
Then he just slams the door, and then we get to see what's his name, B2, and it's like, oh, B2 has friends, and you're like, okay, cool. They didn't forget about B2 in this show. Awesome, great.
They didn't forget about anything.
Just stop it right there. Just stop it there. and the camera doesn't stop, and you're like, please stop, because I know what's happening next. Please stop. Please don't do it.
The council at the end of Andor is the one from Rogue One. Like, it's all the same people, and I'm like, man, I can't believe 10 years later you got all these people back to do this.
Yeah.
And you get to see my man Admiral Raddus, who's a G.
They had that. I'm amazed they brought everybody back.
It was great, man. I like that little council scene.
No, and it was good to see like all of the council except all the council except you got Mon there, and like Mon's hearing the things that Cassian's saying, and she's just like, oh my god, and she's all of a sudden she's like connecting everything. She's like, fuck, oh my god, we're right. And then you got everybody else in the council for the most part. I mean,
Raddus was also on their side, which makes sense because in Rogue One, he's the one that goes rogue and goes to send back up to him.
Yeah,
he's little fish guy, the Mon
But it was great to just see them, like, see her like, oh my god, we did have all this funding everywhere that we never really heard what it was actually being used for or whatever else. Like, we are paying a lot of money in that account and in that account and in that account. And this is all making sense now. But everybody else on the council, or the majority of the other councils, is like, no, this is all made up. Like, no, we're not going to follow through.
This is what they want you to believe.
No. Right.
It's big empire. They're tricking you.
Big empire.
And Senator Organa, man, he's over there. Like, I think the fact that you were tied closely to Luthen, this is kind of compromising your judgment here. And Cassian clapped back at him. He's like, nah, bro, it's the fact that I know him that I know this is true. Which
right.
I think when you track their history up until this moment where we've had Cassian kind of always at odds with Luthen, he's never like really agreed with some of his, it's the fucking cause and nothing else kind of aspect.
This is the one
that we
time
have Luthen kind of
defending him.
We have Cassian defending him. Yeah. The very fucking end, dude. Man, this fucking show is great, man. So fucking good.
Tony Gilroy, please stay. Take over for Dave Filoni and whoever the other guy is. We don't need him. Yeah, John Favreau. We don't need him.
Get rid of the Marvel people. Let's have
they peaked in like early Clone Wars seasons. They're done.
It's just it's moments like that throughout the series that I really appreciate, because it's not out of character for him. Like, that's the difference between like this show and Nick and I are reviewing The Last of Us. Characters change from fucking season to season and episode to episode, or they're not acting like their character at all. But no, throughout the years, Cassian has always been pretty much this character. And that's not really a knock against his development. I mean, I think at the very beginning of the series, he was more cold and calculated.
He's more like his father at the beginning.
Very selfish.
Because his father's very selfish. Keep your head down. That's I do like that. As the show goes on, he becomes more like his mom, but at the beginning, he's more like Clem, his dad, who's very like,
Hmm.
he's teaching him, keep your head down, just do what you need to do to get by.
But like his morals never like once he starts becoming more like his mom, like you said, his morals never really change.
Mm-mm.
And you never like, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's what his character would do. I never had those thoughts throughout
Right.
the series.
Not, like he would have never done that 5 years ago. He would have. He would have done everything that he did.
Exactly. So just I love how they kind of tied his character leading into Rogue One, which I haven't finished Rogue One yet. I'm probably gonna start it over and rewatch it.
Yeah, he fell
Um,
asleep on me.
Dude, I
was like,
keep on having the same issue. Like I'm coming home from work exhausted. I'm like, I gotta lay in bed. I'm gonna watch Rogue One. You know, I gotta do it. And I make it 5 minutes in and fall asleep. And then I restart it, fast forward to the 3 minute mark so I can catch up on the 2 minutes that I was dozing on and off in. 5 more minutes, fall asleep. So I'm like 5 minute increments every night. Yeah. I'm about halfway through.
nothing against the movie, but it's just like I was that was the end of my 20-hour shift. So
As
it was
as
not
the
that time.
person that has rewatched it all the way through, I will say a lot of the good stuff in that movie is backloaded.
Oh really?
Like the beginning's, yeah, the beginning's good, but like all of the good stuff's at the end. Like
That's true.
that's where it's at.
So other storylines that we need to kind of clear up with 12. We already kind of talked about Deidre. I mentioned it earlier that she goes to the island prison. Suck bitch. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
You don't
But
program.
And it was great just seeing her curl up in the fetal position, just start crying.
yes.
Yeah.
Like just I never really think throughout a series like, oh, I want this character to like this is how it should end and this is how it should end. So I never really had like a definitive thing in my head of how her storyline should end, but I think this is perfect.
I'm
It
glad
was
it ended where it did. She deserved it.
definitely not her ending up in prison. I never would have thought that would have happened.
No, I thought she would have died.
If anything, she would have died or she would have flipped. Because I was
Wouldn't
always
that
on the
have been
ropes
fucking
like
crazy?
she may flip at some point. She may finally flip. And I thought even till the very end, with Krennic battling down on everything else, I'm like, this is the opportunity that she flips and she joins the rebellion. And no, she just goes to
And nope.
prison.
And nope.
She gets used as a scapegoat. How sad.
Oh, so I was reading some of my notes now, and I figured out what Gilroy had said that they were considering putting in there, but they took it out as an extra scene. That was Mothma's husband storyline. Did you?
I
Have
did
you heard
see
about
that. Yes, I did.
Where he was actually on her side the entire time, and he was trustworthy, and if she would just opened up to him. So basically, she left her husband and child behind, or daughter. I mean, like it's not really a child anymore, but left her daughter
She was
behind,
married,
and
right.
she didn't even have to do it.
Yeah, and then the chick that he was with in the
I'm so mad
car,
about this already.
yeah, was the his daughter's husband's mom.
Connecting
That
the
track,
dots there.
right?
Yeah,
Whatever that dude's name is, the bad guy that knew how to move money around that married his son to Mon's daughter.
yeah.
Yeah. So
The
evidently
mother-in-law.
one of those. Yeah. So that was essentially the mother-in-law of his daughter that she's yeah.
Coruscant's gotten kind
That's
of
the easy way to
Alabama.
say it. Why do you got to make it easy? Let's make it complicated.
Once I started thinking
part
about
of
it, I was
that,
like, "Oh, you're just
yeah.
talking about mother-in-law."
Yeah, mother-in-law. But the part of that story was the father-in-law. I can't remember his name right now. Starts with an S, I think. Evidently, yeah, we'll say Sam.
It's not
Stregobord, I don't know. Wrong series. He evidently defended Mon after her whole speech thing or whatever. So then I think he got imprisoned or he had to flee or something like that. So then those two kind of connected.
he saw an open opportunity and took
He
it.
said,
did.
yeah, right. He saw an
Good for
opening.
him.
He's like, I'm fucking taking it.
Good for him.
But we don't know what happened to the daughter. We don't get that story.
Yeah. Wait. She fucking just left. Mom had a fucking
And then we do
fucking mental breakdown at her fucking wedding and left her alone.
Right. And then we got Pradagast.
Ooh, that was such a good ending.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about him.
Yeah, you
Such
can't
a-
forget about that one.
I was watching Matt's reaction to that too. I saw it was coming up, and I'm like, let me see how he reacts to this.
We
Just
turn the
pause
radio
my movie
down
and
real
watch-
quick.
I was like, damn, dude just fucking just capped himself, and
And
you
I
know,
love that the
ISB letting him.
Officer, yeah, he's like, he stops the stormtroopers. Like he knows what he was doing.
Yeah, well, it was good that his officer buddy was just like, "Hey, man, so this is what's about to happen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a minute to collect your thoughts. I'll be right outside."
Mm-hmm.
gave him
Really
the
great
out.
moment.
Yeah,
But hey, the show did a great job of kind of tying all of these loose ends into a nice bow. I don't know of a character off the top of my head that I'm like, we just didn't service that character well enough at the very end. Like you said, Nick, it's maybe not necessarily the bombastic, climactic ending to
Finale,
the episode that we all wanted, but it was what we needed.
Hey, that's what we get the
needed.
Battle of Scarab for.
I'm about to say that's
Exactly.
the whole point. Is Rogue One is the finale. So this
The greatest Darth
was
Vader scene of all time. It's up
not.
there.
It's up there. It's up there. It's
It's
up
a
there.
good scene, but I'm not gonna give it to it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm not. It was fucking dope. It gets me erect. I'm not gonna lie. Diamond status for sure. But
Hey, they tried to replicate
if
it
it's
like
the best.
7 times afterwards. Never been able to.
I can
I don't know.
I can
man.
think of
Well,
like three scenes off the top of my head that are better.
I honestly enjoyed Vader versus what's her name in Solo, or not Solo. I'm sorry, in Kenobi.
Oh, Reva, where he doesn't even like ignite his lightsaber. He's just like,
Right?
Whoop.
Yeah, where he just
Then he
palms it.
stabs her with a lightsaber for the 2nd time, and she still doesn't die. Like, do they have a safety on it or something? Like, what's wrong with these
Safety.
things?
He was just teaching her.
Is that where he like threw the fucking boulder at her, or was that the Kenobi fight?
That was the Kenobi fight.
Okay. It reminded me of Thanos throwing the planet at Iron Man.
Right.
If you throw a planet at me one more time. But yeah, I can think of like 3 moments off the top of my head that are better than that one moment. Sir, I'm sorry. Dope,
It's
though.
a good one, right?
It's a good moment, but it's not the best moment.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was really necessary for the movie. As good as it wasn't necessary.
We'll have to agree to disagree on that. I'm going to say on my boy.
I disagree.
I'm Switzerland in this. Okay, I'm gonna stand in between both of y'all.
I don't think Vader needed to be in Rogue One. Is what I'm saying.
I don't know.
Look, this is not a
yeah. This is a Rogue
Well,
One video.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
We'll
not
get
a Rogue
to
One
Rogue One
review, but
next time.
We'll save that for the
Next
peak
week's
moment,
episode.
Okay? Yeah.
I was gonna say he's got the hardest line in that. To try not to choke on your aspirations, Admiral.
No. Well, we can't talk about it because I'm gonna get angry. I hate that line.
Yeah, you're gonna get him started, sir. Okay, once he starts, he won't stop.
We can't talk.
Save it for Rogue
All
One.
right. So overall, just quick thoughts to close out this episode. Nick, you have the floor, sir. Whatever you want to say, get your feelings out there. Closure, whatever you need. How do you feel about Andor season 1 and season 2?
I have cried.
Not including Rogue One.
No.
Take that out of the picture.
I have cried every night for the last 9 nights, knowing that it's over.
It's over.
And we will-
Baloney slop.
We will
Dude,
never get another quality Star Wars project again.
He's so optimistic.
But he's right.
This dude is so
Right.
burned by Disney.
We're getting Grogu and Mandalorian movie next. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yippee.
it's kind of like finding that unicorn girlfriend and you lose her, you know?
This was the Great
It's
White
like-
Buffalo.
Exactly. Brandon, how do you feel about the series, sir?
It's great stuff. I agree. I agree with Nick. It's kind of sad that this is it. Tony Gilroy's leaving, and all we're getting after this is just more slop. More Ahsoka season 2, more Mandalorian. You're like, man, it's good that we had like one serious Star Wars show before just decades of
From what I heard, Ahsoka season 2 is going to be the last live action Star Wars Disney anything for the next 4 or 5 years. Like there's nothing planned through 2030 live action Disney after
makes
Ahsoka
sense.
2.
They're not doing well. Their little animated
probably
like
a good
Tales
idea.
of the Jedi, Tales of the Bounty Hunters are doing way
It's-
better.
It's definitely time to pump the brakes and
Well, that's what they did with the because they had their plans when they released the sequel trilogy was one Star Wars movie a year because they
Mhm.
they
Until
put
Last Jedi.
was Rogue One. Rogue One was in between Force Awakens and
Yeah,
Last
it
Jedi?
And
was
Last
Force
Jedi.
Awakens, Rogue One, Last Jedi, and then Han Solo bombed, so they stopped the one a year.
yeah.
and then we got
Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of
and it just-
Skywalker the next year.
Oh.
Because yeah.
One day, sir.
Disney-
We'll review those movies.
Disney does
She's-
great
He's
things.
all the Jedi. What are you talking about? It's great stuff.
Yeah, this is one of not only the best Disney shows, period, on Disney Plus, not even just one of the best Star Wars projects. I would put this up there as one of the best all-time series for me.
Oh, for sure.
I had so much fun, and this may have a little part of it for my feelings, but doing this week to week, Nick and I have been doing this for what, fucking 3 months now, Andor.
Mhm. And I
Um,
mean, plus all the other Star Wars properties and stuff that we've reviewed over the years. And
I mean, I would put this in there as like some of my favorite things that I've done for this podcast, for the channel. I would put this series up there, not only because I have Nick here, he just so happens to be part of both the series that were my favorites, Lord of the Rings and this one. It's learning so much more about Star Wars than I knew previously. So I have you to thank for that there, sir. Thank you. But I just really enjoyed watching this week to week. This has been my life for 3 months. Is
And
watching this fucking series.
And this has been one of those where you can't wait for next week. Like you are ready to go. And when 8:00 hits on a Tuesday, you're like, it's Andor time. It's time to watch.
Yep. Like the series would never go like a couple of days. I mean, obviously I have like scheduling shit, but like after like the Thursday, I would start watching it as soon as I could. And I did not let it get to the weekend because I could not wait to get to this series. And it would take precedent over anything else. As far
And
as
you
what I
were
was
never
watching.
disappointed. Never
Never.
disappointed.
There was never an episode that I just flat out disliked. I mean, obviously there were some that I didn't like as much as others, but for the most part, dude, 24 episodes, I thought across the board it was pitch perfect to me. Pitch perfect. And the fact that it was a little bit different than other TV shows where it was like maybe not even the first season was thrown into, like they didn't build it up as like different arcs, but it was different arcs for the first
Yeah,
season.
it was still 4 arcs in the season, even though it
Yeah,
wasn't
it's-
That's not
designed
how it was
that way.
marketed, but that's what
Yeah.
it turned out to be. And I love that aspect of it. It makes it a little unique in the realm of TV series. And yeah, just in terms of what it has done for these characters, what it has done for Star Wars, it's kind of rejuvenated my love for Star Wars, whereas Disney fucking killed all love that I had for it for years, and it's been great. It's been great. It sucks because, like you said, I'm kind of just, when you've seen Ace Ventura.
Yes.
I know Nick has. Have you seen Ace Ventura, Brandon? This is before your time. Before your time. So when he finds out that old girl is actually a dude, and he's in the shower and he's in the fetal position. That's me. Okay, that's me. The 9 days that I have not had Andor, I've been broken. I've been lost, confused about my life, and I don't know how to move forward.
There is no substitute
at the end of the tunnel.
It's going to be like
the Blu-ray set.
That's true.
Get the steel case.
I gotta buy the steelbook, dude.
In the living room.
Dude, the steelbook was fucking dope, dude. I gotta fucking buy it.
Do you have the first one?
No, I was waiting until I got some money, and it's on my to-do list.
It's clean.
It's fucking
Give me
hot.
season 2 complete it.
But yeah, my life is broken into like 3 different eras. There's pre and post 9/11, pre and post C word, and now it's pre and post fucking Andor, bro. Like I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with my life now. But here we are. Just fantastic. Just fantastic. But do y'all have any other thoughts that y'all want to say about Andor before we close this one out?
Disney, I need you to pay attention.
We are happy.
Watch Andor. Watch Andor, Disney. Repeat.
Look, just hire Tony Gilroy. Let him do something else. Let him cook.
Look, I know
Yeah,
Kathleen
left him
Kennedy
alone,
said she's retiring this year. Hey, we got a guy.
It's not
Who's
Dave
done some
Filoni.
really-
Please, not Dave Filoni.
It's not Dave Filoni. We got a guy. He's done really good. Let's rinse and repeat. You can do it. We can make good products. This has proved Disney can do something good.
Man, Disney's probably watching this and they're like, oh yeah, we could do all kinds of shit with this, and they'll just fuck it up.
They will.
Cassian Jr.
Like-
I wonder
like,
if we're
I
gonna make him a
mean-
Jedi.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for them to. I'm ready. I am
He really
waiting for
wasn't
them to
dead.
retcon. I'm waiting for them to retcon Poe Dameron and
Oh,
make it
God.
Cassian's baby, even though
See, I
Poe
saw
was
someone-
born after. I'm
I saw someone
waiting.
post the little
I fucking hope
screenshot of the end of Rise of Skywalker where all the ships come in. They're like, which one of these is Cassian Jr.?
Cassian Jr. Well, CJ.
Yeah, where's CJ at, bro?
But yeah, guys, let us know down below in the comment section. How do you feel about Andor, these last 3 episodes, the series as a whole? Let us know your thoughts. And while you're down there, links in the description to all of our social media accounts. We'd greatly appreciate if you went there, like, subscribe, follow. We also have a link to our merch. There, Nick is wearing the shirt. I'm gonna someone had asked me recently about merch. Probably within the next couple of months, I'm gonna do some more shirts, but they're not gonna be the 4th of July ones that we did last year. They're gonna be different.
Yeah, you could see
so
my
y'all-
nips through that one.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
I was not a fan of that order. The design was fucking awesome, but
Yes.
the quality of the shirt was
Quality of the shirt was definitely
much to be desired.
indeed.
It was like a regular T-shirt, like you got from like the little packs that you wear as a undershirt.
Yeah, or like
Hanes, that's what
going
it felt
to
like.
going to Hobby Lobby and buying the shirts out of there.
That's exactly what it felt
Yeah.
like. But yeah, like, subscribe, follow. We'd greatly appreciate it. And thank y'all for joining us for Andor Season 1 and Season 2. We have one more episode, Rogue One. And it ends with that. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to have to schedule amongst us and figure out when we can talk about it for about an hour, because that's at least how long it's going to take.
Hey,
But guys,
it might be a
other
lot
than that-
longer.
And hey, and also if you just
Considering
can't
we
wait
might
to
disagree
see,
about some stuff.
yeah,
I
you
didn't
can't wait
make-
to see more of me and Matt. We're also doing not walking. Why do I keep on wanting to call it Walking
I
Dead?
said that the other
Last
day.
of Us. we're doing The Last of Us right now. We got 3 episodes left of that, 2 episodes left of that. I don't even fucking know. Come watch us there.
Yep. Yeah, I told Nick it was going to be a busy month and a half, and it has been.
It hasn't disappointed.
But all right, guys, that's going to be it from us, and we'll catch y'all next time on another episode. Laters.